Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of tuning in, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Detutu. It's really nice to have you here. Today's topic, as you can tell from the title of this video, is going to be about the current energy crisis and how we can reduce energy consumption during a time like this. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thinks that something just keeps popping up after each thing that has ended or supposedly ended. So in 2020 and 2021 we had the pandemic, and then this year we had the war in Ukraine, and as a result of the war in Ukraine, now the energy crisis is happening. We also have inflation that's happening everywhere. And this video is just to share a couple of tips that we, myself included, that we can use to reduce energy consumption for the cold months. That's winter is coming, okay? Yeah, for the cold months, and possibly save money, because currently in certain places rents are actually being increased. Utility bills, obviously, in terms of energy, water bills and all of that, have also increased. So we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to tell you a couple of tips in this video on certain things that you can do that could reduce your expense for the next couple of months. Because even if your landlord or your landlady has included these utility bills in your rent, at the end of the year you might have to pay some additional costs if you use above the expected amount that has been paid by your landlord or your landlady. The first point is to turn off unnecessary lighting. So if you're in a room and you do not need the light, there is no need for you to put on the light. If you're living in a room, you can put off the light of the room that you're living. In terms of lighting, it would be a good idea to consider substituting your traditional light bulbs with LED lights. LED bulbs use 75% less electricity and last 25 times longer than your traditional bulbs. So it would be a good idea to substitute those now before winter starts, so that way you can reduce your electricity bills. In addition to my first point, I also want to add that making use of natural light when possible is also a good idea. So I know that we are gradually going into the shorter days and the longer nights, and we are much more inclined to put on the lights when it just gets a little bit dark. But maybe this time we want to put into consideration, okay, it's not that dark and we actually need the light for anything. With a smart thermostat, you're only going to be heating the rooms that you're currently using or that you've set on the thermostat to be heated. Smart thermostats can be controlled on your phone, so you don't have to go home to a cold room. If you set the room to be heated at 20 degrees by 8 p.m., by 8 p.m. your room is 20 degrees and not 21 degrees or 15 degrees, right? And you can set this on your phone, like I already said. This is much more efficient and you do not have to keep on switching things off or switching things on. Everything is regulated and can be easily managed. It's the colder months. Most people, myself inclusive, would prefer taking hot or warm showers. Now is the time for us to maybe take it down a notch a bit. You might want to just take a quick shower so that you're not spending more on electricity and heating. Aside from the fact that you're saving electricity, or we are saving electricity, we're also saving water. Okay, it's a good idea to switch off all appliances that are not in use, especially if they are on standby setting. For example, your TV, your microwave, even your laptop. Your laptop should be switched off, because when it's on standby, you're using up your battery, and then that would imply that at some point you have to charge it again. So switch off appliances that you're not using. If possible, unplug them from the socket, because the fact that they're on standby means that they are still making use of electricity and making use of energy. The next point is to make use of smaller appliances. So instead of using the oven, you can use an air fryer or a microwave or a slow cooker or a pressure cooker. These things cook food faster and would not take so much time in heating up, because you do not need to preheat the device. Also, in terms of cooking, you might also want to consider defrosting in the fridge, because when you defrost frozen food items in the fridge, it actually makes the fridge cooler. So the fridge is not going to use as much energy as it would normally to cool off and keep the fridge temperature at a particular temperature, because the frozen food produce is going to be in the fridge and it's going to defrost, do you understand, as it is in the fridge. I hope that makes sense. Okay, as opposed to defrosting it on the counter. There was one time I used to live in a very cold apartment, even though the heating was on. What I used to do was to use a hot water bottle, and what I would do is I'll put it underneath my duvet before I go into bed. So the higher the tug, the warmer your duvet is. I got mine from Primark. I've gotten 2 duvets from Primark actually. One is 13.5 and I use the 15 tug for winter. I use the 13.5 for autumn and early spring. Yeah, so anyway, if you do not have a duvet that has a high tug number, you might want to make use of the hot water bottle. It's actually very easy to do. Just pour hot water in your hot water bottle and place it underneath your duvet for a couple of minutes before you go into bed. You're going to be nice and toasty, trust me. To reduce the escape of heating in your home or your rooms, make use of doors and curtains. So by doors, I mean like close your doors when you leave a room so that the heat is contained in that room. And if you notice air escaping from maybe from the sides of the door or from just underneath the door, if you see like a little crack in between the door and the floor, you might want to get there's this stopper, like it's not a door stopper. I've bought this thing before. I cannot remember the name, unfortunately, at the time I'm shooting this video, but I'm going to perhaps put a picture here so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about, and maybe a link on Amazon in the description box below so you can check it out. It's made of foam and then it traps the air in the room, so there's no air coming in and there's no air going out. If you found a couple of tips that you think you'd be adopting, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful. That helps me with visibility and is also going to encourage me to keep on shooting and creating more content. Thank you very much for watching my video till the end. See you in my next one.